ready to explore a world where you can climb Mount Everest without even leaving your house.
Or like train to be a surgeon without, actually cutting anyone open.
That's the amazing potential of virtual and augmented reality, or VR and AR.
Exactly.
We've got a ton of research and articles about these technologies, and we're going to take a deep dive into how they work
And we'll look at their impact on different industries.
and what challenges they're facing.
Yeah. So both VR and AR change how we experience things.
Right.
But they do it in totally different ways. VR is like full immersion.
Like you're stepping right into a movie.
Exactly. AR, on the other hand, adds digital elements to your real world view
So it's like the difference between exploring the Amazon rainforest virtually.
versus like having real-time stats appear on your windshield while driving.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Let's start with VR.
Okay.
I'm fascinated by how VR tricks your brain into believing you're in a completely different place.
It's pretty incredible.
It really is. It's like teleportation.
Well, yeah, it kind of is. It all comes down to this head-mounted display, or HMD.
HMD?
Yeah, it's this headset with screens for each eye showing slightly different images.
Okay.
It's called a stereoscopic display, and it mimics how our eyes see depth in the real world.
So it's not just like a flat image.
Nope. It actually feels three-dimensional.
Oh, wow.
You feel like you're actually in that space.
I've heard motion tracking is also really important.
Oh, yeah, it's essential.
Why is that?
It's what prevents you from getting motion sick and makes the whole thing truly immersive.
I thought that makes sense.
The headset has sensors, and sometimes even external cameras are used.
I see.
And they track every single head movement.
Really?
So as you turn your head, the virtual environment turns with you.
Wow. So it's seamless.
Yep, pretty much.
It's like your real world movements are translated into the virtual world instantly.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you add in hand controllers.
And spatial audio.
Makes it even more realistic.
Yeah, that's true.
The hand controllers, let you actually interact with objects in the virtual world.
Yeah.
And the spatial audio simulates sounds coming from different directions around you.
So it's like a surround sound system.
Yeah, but for your virtual adventures.
And it's not just about the hardware, right? The software behind VR is incredibly complex.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It relies on powerful game engines to create those detailed and interactive worlds.
Those are the same engines used in video games, aren't they?
Similar, yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Our source material mentions haptic feedback.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
It really is.
You can actually, feel the virtual world.
So haptic technology basically uses vibrations and pressure to simulate the feeling of touch.
Wow.
You could feel the weight of something
Seriously?
or the texture of a surface.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it takes the immersion to a whole new level.
It's clear that VR is pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Mm.
But this tech isn't just for gamers, right?
Mm.
I'm really intrigued by how it's being used in healthcare.
Oh, yeah. Healthcare is one of the areas where VR is really changing the game.
Like how?
Well, surgeons are now able to practice complex procedures virtually,
Oh, wow.
which reduces risks in actual surgeries.
That makes a lot of sense.
And there was a study we came across where burn victims used VR during bandage changes.
Right.
And it significantly reduced their pain levels.
That's incredible.
It's amazing.
So it's not just escapism. It can actually improve people's lives.
Absolutely. And it has huge potential in education as well.
Yeah, what about education?
I mean, imagine students learning history by walking through ancient Rome
Oh, wow.
or exploring the human body from the inside.
Like virtually.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It makes learning so much more interactive and engaging.
Yeah. It's a far cry from the boring lectures I sat through in school.
Exactly.
And beyond healthcare and education, VR is also impacting other industries.
Yeah.
Like architects can visualize buildings,
Before they're even built.
or engineers can work together on designs in a virtual space.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless, and we've only just scratched the surface of what VR can do.
Okay, so that was VR.
Yeah.
Now let's switch gears and talk about AR.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier that AR overlays digital content onto the real world.
Right.
Is that similar to like Pokemon Go, where the creatures appear in front of you?
Exactly. Pokemon Go is a great example of AR.
But it's just one example.
But yeah, it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
AR uses your phone or tablet's camera and sensors to capture the real world.
I see.
And then sophisticated computer vision algorithms analyze that image and understand what the camera is seeing.
Wow.
This allows the AR system to accurately place digital content.
So it looks like it's actually part of your surroundings.
Yeah.
So the device isn't just randomly putting stuff on the screen.
Nope.
It actually understands what it's looking at.
It's learning.
That's amazing. It's like giving our devices a whole new sense.
It really is. And it opens up so many possibilities.
Like what?
Imagine trying on clothes virtually,
Oh, right.
or seeing how furniture would look in your living room before you buy it.
Oh, that would be useful.
Yeah. Or getting information about a landmark just by pointing your phone at it.
That's incredible. It's like having a personal shopper and a tour guide all in one.
Exactly.
And how do we actually interact with these AR overlays?
Well, you can use touch screens,
Right.
voice commands,
I see.
or even hand gestures.
Wow.
AR is all about seamlessly blending those digital and physical worlds.
It's like something out of a science fiction movie.
I know, right? But it's happening now.
But what are some of the key technologies that make this possible?
Well, our source mentions a few things like camera and sensor integration,
Oh,
computer vision,
Uh-huh.
and display technology.
Gotcha. So how do those all work together?
So basically, your phone has to process all the data from the camera and sensors really quickly. And that's where the camera and sensor integration comes in.
That makes sense.
Then there's computer vision, which is crucial for object recognition, image processing, and mapping the space around you.
It's crazy how these algorithms can actually understand the world through a camera lens.
Yeah, it's like giving our devices eyes and a brain.
And what about display technology?
That's how the digital overlays are shown. Sometimes it's through special glasses that project images onto your field of view.
Oh, right.
Or sometimes it's projectors beaming images onto real-world surfaces.
I see.
And even your phone screen can act as a window to the augmented world.
So it's not just one specific technology, it's a whole ecosystem working together.
Exactly.
And we've talked about games like Pokemon Go,
Right.
but the applications for AR go way beyond gaming.
Absolutely.
Like, what else can it be used for?
Oh, it's making its way into retail,
Okay.
navigation,
Uh-huh.
education,
Yeah.
even maintenance and repair.
Yeah.
Think about trying on clothes virtually, getting step-by-step repair instructions on your car engine, or learning about the solar system by just pointing your phone at the night sky.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about how VR and AR work.
Yeah.
But before we move on, we should talk about the differences between them.
Sure.
Our source has this handy table that compares them head to head.
Right.
What are the main differences that stand out to you?
I think the biggest difference is their purpose. VR is all about creating a completely separate reality, immersing you in a virtual environment,
Right.
while AR enhances your perception of the real world by adding digital information to it.
So VR replaces your reality and AR adds to it.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Okay, I think that's a good distinction to keep in mind. Now let's talk about how these technologies are actually changing things.
Yeah.
It's one thing to understand how they work,
Right.
but what's the real-world impact?
It's not just about cool gadgets.
Right.
VR and AR have real-world applications that are changing things right now.
Like what?
They're transforming industries.
Like,
Healthcare, manufacturing, education, entertainment, the list goes on.
okay, that's the perfect lead-in to our next segment. But first, let's take a moment to process all this amazing information.
Good idea.
Welcome back to our deep dive into VR and AR. It's incredible to think about all the ways these technologies are changing the world around us.
I know. We've been talking about all the cool gadgets and the tech behind it all.
Right. But now it's time to get to the heart of it.
Yeah, the real-world applications.
Exactly. We've already touched on healthcare.
Right. VR for surgical training.
Pain management, right.
Yep. But there's so much more happening in healthcare.
Like what?
Well, VR is being used in physical therapy now.
Huh.
Imagine stroke patients regaining motor skills in a virtual environment.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
It's incredible. It's a safe and controlled space for them to practice.
Makes a lot of sense.
And people with phobias,
Yeah.
they can confront their fears virtually too.
Wow. VR therapy.
Yeah. It's making therapy more engaging and effective.
That's awesome. So VR is like giving people a second chance at a healthy life.
Yeah, it really is.
What about manufacturing?
Manufacturing. Oh, VR is changing the factory floor too.
Really?
Think about those really complex assembly tasks,
Uh-huh.
the ones that require a lot of precision.
Right.
VR lets workers train in a virtual replica of the factory.
A virtual factory. Yeah. It reduces errors.
And accidents, I bet.
Exactly. So it's like a dress rehearsal for the real thing, but with, no real consequences if they mess up.
Yeah, like a virtual safety net.
Exactly. And it's not just VR.
Always.
AR is playing a big role in manufacturing as well.
How so?
Well, AR is being used to streamline maintenance and repair tasks.
Yeah.
Imagine a technician wearing those AR glasses.
Uh-huh.
They can see repair instructions and diagrams overlaid right onto the equipment they're fixing.
So they don't have to keep looking back and forth at a manual. Nope. It's like having a virtual expert guiding them through every single step.
That's incredible. Talk about efficiency.
It's a game changer.
So VR and AR are revolutionizing the way we work.
Yeah.
But what about communication? How are these technologies changing the way we connect with each other?
Well, this is where things get really interesting. Forget about those boring old video calls.
Right.
Imagine virtual meetings where you have these realistic avatars.
Avatars.
Yeah, like digital representations of ourselves.
Oh, I see.
And they mimic your movements and expressions.
Wow.
So it would feel like you're actually in the room with your colleagues, even if you're, miles apart.
That would make remote work so much more engaging.
Absolutely. And productive, too.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not just about work. Think about social interactions, too.
Oh, right.
Attending virtual concerts with friends.
Oh, yeah.
Or even visiting far-off places together.
Like a virtual vacation.
Yeah. Or just, hanging out in a virtual park.
That's incredible. The possibilities are, mind-boggling.
They really are.
Speaking of mind-boggling, what about entertainment?
Entertainment. Oh, that's a huge area for VR and AR.
Yeah, I mean, we've already mentioned, virtual concerts.
Theme parks.
Yeah, theme parks.
But what about immersive storytelling?
Oh, right.
Interactive movies.
Where your choices shape the narrative.
Exactly.
Or virtual worlds.
Where you can have your own adventures.
Yeah. It's next-level gaming and entertainment.
Totally. And let's not forget education.
Oh, education is ripe for disruption with VR and AR.
Big time.
Imagine history lessons.
Yeah.
Coming to life through VR field trips to ancient civilizations.
Oh, wow.
Or biology students exploring the human body in 3D.
So cool. It's like giving every student a personalized learning experience.
Exactly. It's mind-blowing to think about how VR and AR are shaping our world.
Yeah. And we're just getting started.
I know, right? It's still so early. It's amazing. But with all this talk about these amazing possibilities, are there any downsides? Are there risks or challenges we should be aware of?
Well, one concern is social isolation.
Social isolation.
Yeah. What if people spend too much time in these virtual worlds,
Yeah, right.
Could it lead to less real-world interaction?
Less real-world relationships.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a valid concern.
It's something we need to be mindful of.
Like anything else, moderation is key.
For sure. We need to find that balance between our virtual and real lives.
Absolutely.
Another issue is accessibility.
Accessibility, okay.
As these technologies get more advanced, they could become more expensive.
Right.
Creating a digital divide between those who can afford it.
And those who can't.
Exactly.
That's an important issue.
It is. We want these technologies to benefit everyone.
Yeah, not just a select few.
Exactly. What else? Oh, misuse is another challenge. Yeah, like any powerful technology.
No, right, yeah.
VR and AR could be used for harmful things.
Oh, yeah, like what?
The spread of misinformation.
Oh.
Through realistic deepfakes.
Oh, wow.
Or immersive experiences that are designed to, manipulate people.
Yeah, that's scary.
It is.
It's a good reminder that technology is a tool.
It is.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
Exactly. So as a society, we have to make sure that VR and AR are used responsibly.
For ethical purposes.
Right. Open discussions.
Develop safeguards.
Yeah, exactly.
So it sounds like we have a lot of work to do.
We do.
To make sure VR and AR create a better future.
For everyone. Yeah.
But despite the challenges, it's still so exciting.
Oh, absolutely.
The potential is huge.
We're on the cusp of a technological revolution.
I know.
It's thrilling.
So to recap, we've looked at how VR and AR work.
Yep.
Dived into their applications, both good and potentially bad.
Right.
But we're not done yet.
Oh, no, there's more.
In our final segment, we'll explore some of the bigger picture implications.
The really big questions.
Yeah. What does the future hold for these technologies?
Buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride.
Welcome back to our deep dive. And wow, we've covered some incredible ground.
I know, right? It's mind-blowing to think about how much VR and AR are already changing the game.
We've talked about the tech, the real-world uses, the good, The bad.
The possibilities, the challenges.
But we can't forget we're still in the early days of this whole VR and AR revolution.
Oh, yeah, totally. This is just the beginning.
Which makes you wonder, like, what does the bigger picture look like? You know,
Hmm.
what are the implications of these technologies for society as a whole?
That's the really interesting part, right? One of the biggest things with VR and AR is how they blur the lines between, what's real and what's virtual.
Right. And as they get more, I don't know, advanced, integrated into our lives,
Yeah,
it
exactly.
kind of makes you question, like, what does it even mean to be human when reality itself can be manipulated?
It's a huge question. Think about, like, our sense of identity. If we can just slip into these virtual personas, experience things from totally different perspectives, what does that do to how we see ourselves?
It's like, whoa, my head is spinning.
It's deep stuff.
And then there's, like, our relationships with other people. If we can connect in these virtual ways that feel so real, does that change how we interact in real life?
It's something, researchers are really trying to figure out right now. Will VR and AR bring us closer, make us more empathetic? Or will they lead to more isolation?
Will we all just retreat into our own little virtual worlds?
It's a real concern, and we just don't know the answer yet.
It's exciting to think about these potential changes, but it's a little scary too.
Absolutely. We have to be careful, approach these advancements with a lot of thought and responsibility. We need to have these open conversations about the risks, the benefits, make sure VR and AR are used for good.
To create a better future for everyone.
Exactly.
Feels like we're standing at a crossroads, right?
In a way, yeah.
We have this opportunity to shape how these technologies develop.
And how they'll impact our lives and the generations after us.
Big responsibility.
It is.
So as we wrap up, is there one key takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
I'd say the biggest thing is remembering that VR and AR are powerful tools. They can change the world in huge ways, and whether those changes are good or bad, well, that's up to us. It's about the choices we make right now.
Wow, that's powerful. We hold the future of reality in our hands.
We do.
Thank you so much for joining us on this wild ride.
It's been my pleasure.
And to our listeners, keep exploring these incredible technologies. Keep asking questions, keep imagining. The future is waiting to be shaped.